If you like this video, please hit the red subscribe button now. Imagine a city the size of Springfield, Illinois or Pasadena, California completely emptied overnight. This isn't the plot of a science fiction film, it was the reality for over 150,000 people in the Fukushima prefecture of Japan. In March 2011, they were forced to abandon their homes, their businesses and their lives, not because of a visible threat like a fire or a flood, but because of an invisible one: radiation. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster was a crisis on a scale that is hard to comprehend, a technological failure that triggered one of the largest and most complex evacuations in modern history. The silence that fell over the abandoned towns was a testament to the immense power held within the atom and the profound consequences when that power is unleashed. The accident at the Fukushima Daiichi plant was the most significant nuclear incident since Chernobyl in 1986. It released substantial amounts of radioactive materials into the environment, contaminating the air, the soil, and the Pacific Ocean. This contamination rendered huge swaths of land uninhabitable, creating an exclusion zone that remains in place today. Section 2. A triple catastrophe: earthquake, tsunami, meltdown. The disaster that unfolded on March 11, 2011, was not a single event, but a catastrophic cascade of failures. It began deep beneath the Pacific Ocean with a magnitude 9.0 earthquake, one of the most powerful ever recorded. The ground shook violently for 6 minutes, triggering the automatic shutdown of the Fukushima Daiichi plant's active reactors as they were designed to do. Emergency diesel generators kicked in to power the critical cooling systems needed to remove the immense residual heat from the reactor cores. For a brief period, it seemed that the plant's safety systems had weathered the seismic shock. However, the real test was yet to come, racing toward the coast at the speed of a jetliner. Less than an hour after the earthquake, a massive tsunami with waves reaching up to 14 meters high slammed into the Japanese coastline. The plant's seawall, designed to withstand waves of less than 6 meters, was completely overwhelmed. The deluge of seawater flooded the lower levels of the turbine buildings and inundated the backup diesel generators, with their primary and emergency power sources lost in what is known as a station blackout. Section 3. The long road to recovery. The cleanup of the Fukushima Daiichi site is one of the most daunting projects ever undertaken. It's also a technologically complex engineering challenge. The ultimate goal is decommissioning, the complete dismantling of the facility, and the safe removal of all hazardous materials. Initial estimates suggested the process would take 30 to 40 years. They targeted completion around 2051, but immense challenges have pushed those timelines back. If you like this video, please hit the red subscribe button now. As of late 2024, full-scale fuel debris removal was delayed to 2037 at the earliest. TEPCO says it will take over a decade just to prepare. Some experts now warn it could take up to 100 years. Managing contaminated water is central to daily operations. Cooling water is continuously injected into the damaged reactors to prevent overheating. That water becomes highly radioactive. It is collected, it is stored, and it is treated through a filtration system called ALPS. ALPS removes most radioactive isotopes, but ALPS cannot remove tritium. With tanks reaching capacity, Japan began a controlled discharge of ALPS-treated water into the Pacific in August 2023. The most perilous task is removing roughly 880 tons of molten fuel debris, corium, inside 3 damaged reactors. In November 2024, a robotic arm extracted a 5mm particle of melted fuel. The sample was about the size of a grain of rice, a major breakthrough, and a reminder of how difficult the work is. One of the most crucial facts about the Fukushima disaster is often misunderstood. According to the World Health Organization and the United Nations Scientific Committee on the Effects of Atomic Radiation, there have been no deaths or cases of radiation sickness directly attributable to the nuclear accident. The immediate evacuation and subsequent controls on food and water successfully protected the public from significant radiation exposure. The decision to move 150,000 people out of the contaminated zones was, from a radiological protection standpoint, a success. However, this success came at an immense and tragic human cost, revealing that the dangers of a nuclear accident extend far beyond radiation itself. The true toll of the disaster can be measured in what Japanese authorities call disaster-related deaths. Official figures show that by 2024, there had been 2,313 such deaths among the evacuees from Fukushima Prefecture. These were not fatalities from radiation poisoning, but from the severe physical and mental stress of the evacuation and its aftermath. Elderly people died from the trauma of being hastily moved from hospitals and nursing homes. Others succumbed to suicide, driven by the loss of their homes, livelihoods, and communities. The disruption of life was absolute, leading to health crises born of despair, anxiety, and the breakdown of social and medical support systems. The evacuation created a generation of displaced persons who struggled to rebuild their lives in unfamiliar surroundings. Many faced discrimination and stigma in their new communities, with landlords refusing to rent to them, and classmates bullying their children over fears of contamination. The Fukushima Daiichi disaster was a humbling lesson for the global nuclear industry, forcing a fundamental reassessment of what safety truly means. The primary lesson was stark: nature's power can exceed our engineering hubris. Nuclear plant designs must be robust enough to withstand extreme events beyond historical records and conventional predictions. Defense in depth was shown to be flawed if multiple safety layers can be wiped out by a single cause like a flood. Regulators worldwide have mandated upgrades to protect against station blackouts and to keep critical cooling functioning even in the severest circumstances. The crisis underscored the need for regulatory independence and a robust safety culture. Investigations found complacency a cozy relationship between the plant operator TEPCO and Japanese regulators, which downplayed tsunami risks. A strong safety culture needs constant vigilance, willingness to question assumptions, and an environment where dissent is encouraged. The failure was not just technological, but human and organizational. Hardware is only as safe as the software of the human systems that manage it. A third crucial takeaway is emergency preparedness and public communication. Governments and operators need well-rehearsed plans that address the social and psychological needs of evacuees. If you like this video, please hit the red subscribe button now. Fukushima is a sobering, multi-generational reminder of nuclear consequences. Even without direct radiation fatalities, large areas became unusable for the foreseeable future, and a cleanup that will cost hundreds of billions and span a century.